we are talking with Debbie Reynolds. You were starting to tell the story about when you were pregnant in Italy.
Well, you asked me about my book that I've written, and it's just out in paperback now, so I want to mention that simply because I like the book to do well. But the story is, my story is about all women, and we do have our little problems in areas of marriage and losing children. And when I was married to Harry Carl, I was pregnant. I became pregnant. I wanted to have 4 children, so I had Carrie and Todd, and I wanted to have 2 other children. And I got pregnant. I was very lucky in that sense right away. And I was pregnant 7 months, and the baby died inside of me. This happens to a lot of ladies now that I know of what happened to me. And actually, I was at 7.5 months pregnant. But I didn't know it. You know, it just sort of shrunk down a little bit. And it was a very hard thing to get over because in those days, there were no abortions allowed, whether you were ill or whether you were raped or whether the child died, which is disgusting to think that there is those laws. That is ridiculous. So, when it's a woman's life, you know, and so I had to carry the child full term.
Knowing it was dead.
That was the law. It didn't matter. It had to abort itself. It could not be taken from me. It's insane to think that really could be.
And you said you would go to parties and people would say to you,
"How's the baby? What name are you going to name the baby?"
Oh,
you know.
Just broke me.
It's just something that I never have forgotten, and the pain of it, and a lot of women go through this sort of thing. And then when finally the child, they couldn't leave it in anymore because now the child is in the sac, but of course finally after so much time, all the poisons and everything would have killed me. So they finally agreed, some board, imagine, that they would try to take this child out, but at this point now it was more dangerous than ever. So I lived through that. It took over a year to get rid of the poisons that they put in me and all this junk to take this child out. Now, I waited a number of months, and I was lucky enough to get pregnant again. And the same thing happened to me. The second baby dies, just like that, again, for no reason at all. And this time I said, I don't want to know from Congress. I don't want to know from any of you. You are taking this baby now, because I don't want to go through what I had to go through before. And they did. And the law was still in existence that couldn't be. But because of knowing that they almost allowed me to die because of that silly law, why they were able to abort the child. A 7.5-month-old baby is not an easy thing to do. And those are very hard for me to get over mentally. Because I'm religious and I do believe in a higher being and I do believe that you are strong. And when I lost the second baby, you know, I was up for the movie when I got pregnant for The Unsinkable Molly Brown. And when the baby was taken, Shirley MacLaine, who had been set for that film to do, she couldn't do it because of a lawsuit. And because I had lost the baby, which was a devastation to me, I got the film. Like overnight, they called and said, "Are you still pregnant?" I said, "Well, no." They said, "Well, could you do the movie Molly Brown?" So in a way, God was good to me. You see that
yes.
I had a terrible loss, and certainly losing a child is not, a movie doesn't make up. But it put me right back to work, and when you work, that's the best thing.
Oh,
just
absolutely.
like what you went through, I mean, my goodness, the pain, the grief, and you went right back to work.
The sooner the better for anybody, I think.
Keep
it takes your mind. If you've had such a career, and it goes on and on, what are some of we know the major triumphs, which is so many, starting with 18 years old and Singing in the Rain. What are some of the major mistakes? Do you look back and say, I should have taken that part, or, gosh, I didn't do that right?
No, my career has been the happiest part of my life. My personal life was pretty unhappy in marriages. I've made a lot of mistakes. I picked the wrong men. My husband that I'm married to now is really, it's a joy. I've never been so happy in it. Every day I wake up.
Is that nice?
Yeah.
What do you do with rumors? There's so many rumors about you. How do you handle I've heard rumors over the year, from everything from you had an affair with Sammy Davis Jr. I don't know if you ever heard that rumor.
Did we tap dance?
You had an affair with Sammy Davis Jr. To you were gay. That was another rumor that went around for a while. To
I think famous people are
yes, you were
everything.
dead broke another time. Then someone said you're the richest woman. I mean,
well, dead broke was right.
But the rest
Where did the
money go?
Well, Harry Carl, my second husband, lost it all gambling and bad debts and business, and I was never a woman that was good at business, and I thought your husband did that. You know, I told you I was very Victorian and stupid.
Now, I thought that I used to leave it to Edgar also.
Yeah, well, did you know anything?
Not until he died, and then, boy, I learned very quickly.
But, I mean, when he passed on, I'm sure you didn't know where any of the money was, where anything. He took care of everything.
Yes, yes.
And then in an instant, you had to become this wonderful, accomplished business lady. Now, you already are in show business, but that's not money, you know, and everybody wants a piece of you. Every lawyer, every business manager, some are wonderful and a lot aren't. So you're out there in the throes and the sharks are grabbing at you. I think to your credit, and I pray you do have good people.
And I pray you have good people, too.
Well,
Otherwise, we'd be working.
my husband runs it, and I watch everything, too.
Now, this husband has made you very, very happy, you said, also because it's the first time you had a good sex life.
Oh, did I say that?
Yes, in your book.
Oh, I said that in my book?
Yes.
Hey, thanks, honey.
What's the biggest misconception about you?
I don't
Is there
know.
one that people say, well, I had no idea, I thought she wouldn't be like this, or...
I think sometimes the public that has seen me in films, in roles, don't know that I am funny or that I am outspoken or, you know, kind of a crazy girl, having been born on April Fool's Day. And when they meet me, they have a lot of fun with me personally. I think that the public is surprised about and pleased. But I find that now, this is my 41st year in show business, that really everybody says, hi, Debbie.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
It's like we grew up together or we were raised together.
Right now, Debbie is in Salt Lake City starring in The Unsinkable Molly Brown at the Capitol Theater.